Have you ever encountered a hurdle with launching or growing your business? Listen, there are two things that run a business, the back end and your soft skills.
Telling you right now, if these aren't in place, you'll lose clients and you'll lose money. You don't want that? Well, you're in the right place.
Hey, I'm Dana.
Hey, I'm Sarah.
We're your hosts of the Entrepreneur Encounter, and we're going to give you a behind-the-scenes glance into our businesses, give you genuine feedback, tips and tricks, plus occasionally bring on guests that care about supporting you to grow your business organically and nurturing authentic relationships. Are you ready? Welcome back, everyone, to the Entrepreneur Encounter podcast. Today, Sarah and I are going to be diving into a crucial concept for all entrepreneurs, no matter where you are in the stage of business, but more so for those starting out. It's the power of a growth mindset. If you've been in business for a while, you've heard about this, you know it's important. But for those entrepreneurs and side hustlers that are just getting started, the growth mindset is something you really have to learn and train your brain to understand and utilize to its fullest potential.
Oh, most definitely. If you are not in the growth mindset, you're probably going to be stuck where you're at. So let's break down the basics. What exactly is a growth mindset?
So to me, it's the belief that your skills and abilities aren't completely set in stone, but can be developed and improved through hard work and dedication. Like, you love learning. You want to put forth effort to learn how to build client connections, how to be the best at whatever your niche is, whether it's virtual assisting or bookkeeping or graphic design, life coaching. Any of those things takes time to hone in your abilities and grow that intelligence.
So we want to think of it maybe like working out. Think of it like a muscle, because the more you work on it, the stronger it gets. So the more that you are consuming anything that you're learning, you are expanding the growth of your brain, essentially. You want to ensure that you are adapting to the changes that are constantly going on in the world, because you have to adapt. And if you're just going to say, well, I'm just going to stay here because I feel comfortable, then essentially you're just going to stay there. You're going to be stuck and you're not going to grow. So if you take the time to figure out what is that you want to learn and go all in on that.
I like that. Compared to a fixed mindset, which anyone that's listening, we've all worked for someone who had it's my way or the highway type mindset, when it's let's market, let's connect, let's whatever the case may be. No matter what the goals were, it was almost the exact same process. And as someone who loves a good workflow and automations and things, sometimes you still have to go back and see what's working and what's not working. You still have to have a mindset of, let's make it a little bit better. Let's understand this from our customer's viewpoint, because it may make sense to us, but we even have our guests on the podcast give us feedback. So if we need to tweak our workflow a little bit, we can do so and make it flow even better. But a fixed mindset where someone is set in stone, no matter what, can go against the grain and hinder growth and hinder collaboration and that connection. So which mindset do you think is more conducive to success on the entrepreneur journey?
I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to grow. Nothing is set in stone. I want to give an example. So when I was working in retail management, first off, it was not great. I did not like it. But I remember that the store manager that worked there only hired people that did not have the experience. He wanted to help people that have not had a job and teach them all the different ways, because he was not set in stone. So to me, I think that's a really cool mindset, because ideally it would be awesome for anybody to hire somebody just because they don't have the experience. You want to give them the experience so that they can learn and grow from it. Because I've seen it in, my line of work too, as a business manager, where people are like, well, it's my way. It's my way. Well, yeah, it is your way. But what if we do it a different way? See, if you're stuck somewhere, there's a reason why you're stuck. So not everything is set in stone. You have to look at it from a bird's eye view to see what's going on. What can you do to make things better?
That's true. We know entrepreneurship is full of challenges and setbacks. It could be the world shuts down. It could be you lose a client. It could be your kids are homesick that day, like however small or big it may feel. How are you going to navigate those if you're set in stone on how we get things done? Even something that, to me, what feels simple of like, my kid has to stay home today, which as we are recording this, my daughter is not normally home and she is home today because while she is not sick, too many people in her preschool are sick and I'm not willing to risk that coming home to us. But if I was set in she has to be gone while we record, we wouldn't be recording right now. So I don't want to call this necessarily a failure, but this kind of hiccup is a learning experience. We're looking at this as a chance to grow and improve. And it's something worth mentioning that those with a growth mindset are more likely to embrace new ideas and they will take more calculated risks. And many successful businesses started with this crazy idea, a lot of hustle and growth mindsets of, all right, well, this didn't work. Let's try again. Let's pivot. Or, oh man, that worked amazingly. Let's duplicate it and do it again.
Yep.
I think that's the best examples that we can see on how to overcome challenges.
Also, when any entrepreneur starts a business, of course, they're starting a business because they want something of their own. They want to have that freedom or whatever the reason is that they start the business. But here's the thing too, you're learning things that you've never learned before. So I didn't go to business school. I had no idea what I was doing. I had to learn and educate myself on how to run a business and how to do all the managing and all these things that I never thought I would do. But you're putting in the discipline and you're putting in the work to make sure that you are going to be where you want to be. Because just keep thinking of your why. Like, why did you start this business? Because you wanted XYZ and you were learning. So definitely embrace the curiosity of learning new things.
Ooh, I'm going to segue on that. So for our listeners, you may be wondering or thinking out loud, all of this sounds great. Yes, growth mindset is what we need. And maybe you feel like you have it a little bit, but how do I actually cultivate this amazing growth mindset? As always, I have my whole actionable tips and suggestions for you. But if it hasn't been obvious, first would be to embrace failure. It's a natural part of the learning process. Like you can't grow and learn unless you have a hurdle, like you fall down. Think back to when you're a kid and learning to ride a bike. How many times did you fall down before you finally got it? And we're like off down the road.
Yeah.
Don't let these setbacks discourage you. See them as stepping stones on your path towards success. One of the best things I think my dad did when I was learning to ride a bike or really to do anything and I fell down, he would kind of laugh, but he was like, get up and do it again, like to make a whole fun spin on it instead of, well, that sucks. Don't do that anymore. Like, no, let's get up. Let's try again. We're not going to stay down. So embracing failure is the best way to get started.
Yeah, and that's a great thing because I do the same thing with my kids, you know, when they feel not confident enough that they can't do something. So here's the thing, as a business owner, as you start a business, you may not feel confident. But one thing that really, really helps is finding a support network, even if it's one person. And I truly believe that Dana and I are each other's support network, and we're definitely there for each other. So if you are needing somebody to help you get out of these roadblocks, we are definitely here to have those conversations and help you get unstuck. Another actionable tip or thing that you can do is love learning. I went to college because I was bored and I liked going to school.
That's not why I went to college.
So it's so funny because a lot of people obviously go to college because of society. But honestly, I didn't go after I graduated high school. I took a couple years off. And then one day I was like, I'm bored. Like, what can I do to not be bored? So I went to school and I had 2 kids while I was in school. Then I went on to my job, my career that I thought was going to be my forever career. But anyways, you know, you have to be willing to learn new things. I did not want to learn SEO because I thought it was going to be really challenging and I didn't understand it. So it took me a really long time to figure out how to do SEO for like blogs and or podcasts and all that stuff. But if there's something that if you want to grow, you need to be willing and wanting to learn something you might not want to learn.
True. So I went to college because not that my dad said I had to, it just in my brain seemed like the next step. I do have a love of learning. And I honestly wanted to be the next Lorelai Gilmore and own an inn. So I was like, I need to figure out how she did that. And she went to school. So I went to school. I know that's silly. But even now, post degree and being a business owner, I am constantly curious. I ask a lot of questions, whether it's to Sarah, my husband, I ask my kids questions. Like, I just love cultivating that love of learning, no matter what age. I'm constantly seeking out opportunities to expand my knowledge and skill set. Something I've been seeing lately on Instagram is being in a room of people smarter than you. I enjoy that. I feel like some people may be intimidated, but there's a difference. If you're in a room full of people who are smarter than you and love teaching and have that similar growth mindset, this is where, Sarah, you were saying to have your tribe, your network, have a community, they're not going to make you feel dumb. They're going to encourage you and lift you up to learn along with them. Some of my favorite business coaches, entrepreneurs like Brandy Miles, Jenna Kutcher, like they still take courses to learn. They make millions of dollars a year and they're still out there learning. And to me, that's comforting to know, like, okay, even if and when I make $1 million, like there's still something I can learn from. I just sent Sarah a podcast from Brandy about the 5 or 6 books that she read last quarter. And I was like, oh, these are so good. Let's add them to our list. So read books, attend workshops. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and constantly cultivate that need to learn and be smarter. And then help someone not as smart as you. I feel like that's a bad way to say that, but help someone that is early on in their learning stage, help them, because then you're going to learn from them too.
I have so much fun teaching other people. Like when I talk and have conversations and I say something, when I go to networking events and I have conversations about soft skills, because I'm so passionate about it and I get to have these conversations with other people that are not entirely sure what soft skills are, that is fun. I enjoy teaching other people, no matter what it is. I love movies. So when I talk to somebody about movies, like, hey, what movie did you see or whatever? And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then I can go on a whole tangent. Like I can tell you like what happened behind the scenes, how the movie was made. It just being able to talk to people that are not entirely sure or have never been in that realm of certain topics or whatever. To me, it's really cool to be able to have those conversations.
Fun fact that has nothing to do with this conversation. If you ever ask me if I've seen a movie, 9 times out of 10, it will be no. Apparently, I thought I watched movies all the time, but apparently I don't. And if you quote movies to me, I won't get it either.
Obviously, this is all audio, but I'm looking right now. I have a shelf. It's over 1,000 movies. I used to collect movies, and they're all like cheesy 90s, 80s movies.
I need a picture of that.
Oh, okay. I'll take a picture.
I love it. Hey there, listeners. Ever feel like you're struggling to connect with customers or lead your team effectively? That's where soft skills come in.
Entrepreneur Encounter isn't just another podcast. We're a community dedicated to helping early stage entrepreneurs like you master the soft skills that make or break a business.
Technical skills are important, but without communication, collaboration, and confidence, your business might never get off the ground to the next level.
In our membership, Dana and I share actionable insights and tips to help you nurture the soft skills you need to thrive.
Give you access to bonus content, workshops, and a network of like-minded entrepreneurs who are all on the same journey.
We'll teach you how to boost your confidence,
become a leader who inspires and motivates your team,
navigate conflict like a pro,
to resolve disagreements without drama and build stronger relationships,
communicate clearly and concisely, get your message across, build trust, and close the deal.
If you're ready to take your business to the next level, join the circle by clicking the link in the show notes. So once you dive into learning and like constantly being curious and you're embracing your failures, honestly, the last tip really is to seek feedback and constructive criticism. I need that personally so that I can step outside of my focus, I guess. To be the best person I need someone else that can identify areas of improvement. So like I'm very hard on myself, and where I think I may need to fix, someone else is like, no, you got that down pat. this is actually what might make you feel more confident as an entrepreneur, as a Pinterest manager, as a mom, as a wife, as a whatever it is that I need constructive feedback on. That is the last thing that I recommend, is embracing that scary but needed and like important feedback.
Another thing too with feedback is to not take it personally. I've been there, done that. I've been told some feedback. I took it to heart. I was like a little kid, not necessarily making fun, but I don't like that. But I started to embrace the fact that I need to know, am I doing this right? Or not necessarily, I know I'm doing it right, but what other ways can I improve? Do this with somebody that you feel comfortable with, and say, hey, like, what do you think that I may need improvement on? And just be willing to take that and learn from it and take that as an opportunity to grow.
I think following with that is trying to provide a space or environment where cross-training is encouraged. So new skills and new responsibilities can be taken on, but that allows for that regular feedback and maybe critiquing from someone that's not just you. If it's done in a constructive way, everyone can learn from their mistakes and experiences. But if it feels like you're constantly calling someone out, or that's just how they're receiving it, maybe having a cross-training opportunity where someone else can provide that feedback is an option. Of now they're both growing, the team can move forward. And honestly, they're now more connected to brainstorm better together, to problem solve more effectively, find multiple solutions to any challenge that may come up. And it takes a lot of the stress off of your own shoulders.
Yeah, so those are the type of activities that you can do to foster a growth mindset. Like Dana said, the brainstorming sessions, this is just a way to encourage creative problem solving and come up with many solutions, try them out. And then if something doesn't work, then try something else. Again, feedback and
like discussion groups and things. Cross-training is how I looked at it. I love co-working sessions and things like that where you come together and kind of, this is what I'm working on right now, or this is the resource that I need, or this is a tool I'm testing. And then people can immediately share their feedback. I was in a Facebook group recently. Someone was looking at asking questions about like virtual assistant training courses, not people that sold them. They wanted feedback from people that have actually taken them. So that to me was like a brainstorming session. So I was all up in her DMs and was like, is this for you? Is this for someone to grow your team? Either way, this one will be good for either option. But if it was to expand their team, that's sometimes a different mindset. So you need a different type of course. But multiple solutions to that hurdle of finding training for a virtual assistant. Just remember, everybody, like even now, like I've been in business for myself for 4 years and I'm still learning. Like a growth mindset is not an end-all destination. It is a whole journey. And with like dedication to it, you can develop yours and unlock your full potential as an entrepreneur and as a person.
I'm curious about what our listeners have to say about this. Like, what are your ways that you are currently doing to cultivate the growth mindset? We would love to know. You can send us a DM. All of the information is in our show notes. Reach out to us and definitely come hang out with us in our community. And we can't wait to hear from you.
Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe.
Until next time. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode. Remember, soft skills aren't just some fluffy buzzwords that get thrown around in the corporate world. They're the key to unlocking your full potential as a professional and a human being. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself and seek out opportunities to improve your soft skills. Sarah and I have a variety of workshops, online courses, and complimentary clarity calls for you to practice in real time with us. Links are always in the show notes. And be sure to join us next time for more insights, tips, and tricks to help you succeed in your entrepreneur encounter.